Hello everyone, welcome back to these revision sessions. As we all know, we are revising the social work paper 2 in the UGC examination. We are doing or revising these topics from point of view of UGC Let 2025. Okay, so this is presently we are in Unit 4, right? So in Unit 4, we have already completed the first part, half the portion of Unit 4, that is community organization. In the second part of Unit 4, we will study or we will discuss social action, right? Social action is also one of the important areas from the point of view of examination. Okay, so along with community organization, social action was also kept in chapter 4, right? So what are the things that we are going to discuss in this chapter, right? Or in this video as part of social action. First, briefly, we will see the concept of social action. Then we will see the historical evolution. For everything, we are seeing historical evolution, starting from piecework, okay, then group work, and for community organization. And here also, with respect to social action also, we will see the historical evolution, okay. After that, we will see social action as a method of social work, how we have to use or how we are using social action as a method of social work. After that, we will see the relevance in contemporary social work, means relevance of social action in the contemporary social work, right? These are the things briefly we are going to study or see in this chapter. Okay. First, we will see the concepts that are there with respect to social action. Okay, right. Brief introduction we will see. You see, social actions refers to what? It refers to a deliberate, organized, and goal-oriented efforts. What are those efforts? Those efforts are deliberate efforts, organized efforts, and goal-oriented efforts. Means we are trying to achieve something, certain goals we have set, we are trying to achieve them. Okay, right. These type of efforts to bring about, okay, change in the social institutions, policies, or policies of the government, policies made by the government, or societal activities. What are the changes that we are trying to do by using social action or by using the efforts we are trying to bring in a change in the, remember the words, words are very, very important. Social institutions, policies made by the government that are prevalent in a country, and societal attitudes. Why we have to bring in change in all these things? Because they are linked with the growth of the people. Okay, and or otherwise, if you have to put it in other words, people have needs, and people have to meet their needs. Okay, people have to meet their needs, and when you are bringing desirable changes in these things, then certain needs of certain sections of the society are met, right? Right. Then second aspect we will see. Social action is typically undertaken on behalf of or by the disadvantaged or marginalized sections of society. Remember, there are two aspects involved here. Either the marginalized or disadvantaged sections, they themselves are taking this action, social action, or on behalf of them, somebody else, maybe socially conscious people, for example, social worker. Professionally, when a social worker is involved, he or she will take up this social action on behalf of the marginalized or disadvantaged sections of society. Got it? This is what, or this is why social action is. Okay, this is what we generally know as social action. Right. Now we will go to some formal definitions. You see, for each and every topic that we are studying as part of social work, definitions are very, very important. Verbatim, they are picked in the examination and they are being asked. So you should be thorough with the definitions. Okay. You see, it's very difficult to remember all the definitions. That may be possible to discuss all the definitions in the foundation course, but here we are doing summary. So that is why I'm taking only the very important definitions, the most important definitions. Okay. Right. You see, according to W.A. Friedlander, who has defined social action, he defined it in such a manner. Okay, social action is an individual, group, or community effort. Okay, it can be a individual effort. Okay, it can be a group effort, and it can be a community effort also. Okay, within the framework of and the action is being taken within the framework of social work philosophy. Okay, and social work philosophy and practice. You know very well there are two major characteristic features or the nature of the social work is social work as a theory or as a philosophy is also there, and the social work practice is also there. Okay, so the action is taken according to the principle or within the framework of social work philosophy, means social work theory and social work practice. Okay, and why this action has been taken? It is aimed at achieving social progress, right? Modifying social policies, okay, and improving the social legislation. This is how W.A. Friedlander has defined social action as. Okay, right. Now we will understand the key features or important features of social work. Okay, so what are one by one we will see the features. First feature is it focuses on structural and systematic change. Okay, remember it focuses on structural and systematic change. Okay. Second feature is it is oriented towards justice, equity, and empowerment of the society or empowerment of the people. This is the second feature of social action. Then the third one is it often involves collective action. Means people are coming together and collectively they are taking action as a group, as an association. Okay, so it is often involves collective action and public participation. Okay, then it uses tools such as advocacy, protest, mobilization, and legal action. Legal action is going to the court and filing maybe public interest litigation on behalf of certain sections of the society who are facing certain problems. Okay, right. So what are the tools? Generally, what are the tools that are utilized? Advocacy, protest, mobilization of people for the cause, and finally legal action. These are the tools generally utilized in the social action. Okay. After that, we will see briefly the historical evolution of social action. Okay, right. First, we will see in the West how it has emerged in the West, majorly in the West, in the sense Europe and United States of America. Here, you see one of the major countries will be included will be United Kingdom. Okay, right. Social work in the West was influenced by ideals like liberalism, socialism, civil rights movements. So when you see things like liberty, okay, socialism, etc., it is after the world wars or just before the world wars. Okay, so you can trace the concept of social work somewhere around the period of world wars. Okay, maybe before that, maybe few days before the world wars, or you know. I'm sorry, actually concepts like liberalism, socialism, I'm sorry, it is not world wars. It is since the French Revolution. Sorry, there was a brief mistake. French Revolution, you can trace these ideals. Okay, you see these ideals like liberalism, liberty, fraternity, unity, then socialism, communism. Okay, all these are the basis. They have they have formed the basis, or kind of they have become the philosophical base for French Revolution. And after that, in many other countries also, revolutions have happened. Okay, so these ideals have become the basis for that. So you can trace the social work also to this period of French Revolution. Okay, right. Then notable examples include the abolition of slavery. Okay, that was prevalent in Europe and United States of America. Then women's suffrage means voting rights for women, electoral rights for women. Then labor rights, okay, rights of the workers. When the things like labor rights, etc., have come since the industrial revolution. Yeah. So labor has become a major force, major component of the society. Their rights have been violated like anything, especially during the initial periods of industrial revolution. Okay. So that is why labor movements, several labor movements were there. Okay. And after that, civil rights movement in United States of America. The story of civil rights movement you know very well. Martin Luther King Jr. He led the famous human rights movement or civil rights movements of in United States of America. The blacks have been discriminated like anything at every place in the society of United States of America. Kind of it was racism, right? Against that, there was a civil rights movement in United States of America. You can trace the civil rights movement somewhere around 1960s. Okay, right. So these are some of the notable examples where social action was taken. Okay, in India, right? You see, in India, it is rooted in Bhakti movements. Okay, or socio-religious reform movements we have seen in the 19th century. Okay, at the time you will see the or you can trace the origin of social work to this period. Okay, you see it rooted in movements like Bhakti movement. Okay, then Bhakti movement, of course, it was far beyond. It was there from earlier time. Okay, then socio-religious reform movements. Okay, that were there in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Then after that, you will see the famous leaders who are involved in the socio-religious reform movements were Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Jyotiba Phule. Okay, then Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, etc. Many people, Henry DeRosario, like that. Plenty of people are there who have involved in this socio-religious reform movements. Okay. After that, it was further strengthened by Mahatma Gandhi's Satyagraha and freedom struggle. You can attribute whatever Mahatma Gandhi has done in mobilizing the people against, even against the Britishers and even against the social evils like untouchability, women discrimination, etc. They were there. So it is nothing but social action only. For that, he has utilized social mobilization. He has utilized the social mobilization and social action. Okay. Right after that, post-independence, after independence, social action was seen in movements like various movements like Dalit movements. Okay, Dalit movements were led under leaders like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and you can attribute it to Jyotiba Phule also. He led the backward caste movement, and Narayan Guru also in Kerala. Jyotiba Phule was there in Maharashtra, Bombay province. Okay. The tribal rights movements, several tribal rights movements you will see across the length and the breadth of the country. Tribals fighting for their rights. Then after that, land and environmental movements. Best examples are Chipko movement, Narmada Bachao Andolan. Then there is Appipo movement also in Karnataka. Okay, and the previous examples I have mentioned. that is anti-liquor agitation in Andhra Pradesh. Like that, plenty of examples you can take where social action has been taken, or you can trace the social action to all these developments, right? This is the historical development of social action in West also and in India also. Okay, give me a second. Right. Next area we will examine is social action as a method of social work, which is also very, very important area. Right. Right. Objectives of social action in social work. What are the objectives? What we want to achieve through social action as part of social work? First is we can challenge injustice wherever there is injustice taking place, then discrimination and oppression. So you will see in countries several times the Dalit people have been, especially Dalit women have been targeted and they have been oppressed, and sexual abuse was there on them. Okay, you will see in UP, if you take the Mathura rape and murder case, then Kathua issue recently, just 2 to 3 years back we have seen. So if at all there is that kind of injustice, then social action can be taken up there. Or social action is there to address this type of injustice. Okay. Then discrimination based on various aspects like caste, religion, race, gender, etc. And oppression, just like whatever the example I have given, we can take that example as an example for oppression also. Okay. So to address these problems, you can take social action. Okay. Then after that, promote social legislation and policy reforms. What is the meaning of social legislation? Legislation, then you are advocating, you are lobbying for you are protesting so that a proper kind of a particular type of legislation can be brought in by the government or by the parliament. Because of that, a social problem that is existing in the society can be addressed. Best example I want to give you, the protest led by Anna Hazare in Delhi to bring in a anti-corruption law, okay, or to bring in an ombudsman to address the problem of corruption in our country. Because of that social action, because of that movement, what we have seen the establishment of Lokpal in the country. Okay, so that is the best example for promoting social legislation. And after that, we can take the example of Nirbhaya Act also. Okay, after the grievous this incident of Nirbhaya rape, people have protested, okay, in Delhi and all parts of the country, and because of that, to prevent such type of instances in the country, the government has brought in the Nirbhaya Act. Okay, so for this also you can take up social action. Okay, after that, to raise consciousness and mobilize affected communities, you can take up social action. That is what you want to achieve by raising social action. And finally, with social action, you want to influence public opinion and the political will to bring in a desirable change in that political will or public opinion. Okay, so this is what you are trying to achieve through the social action. Okay, then just like we have examined the techniques and the tools for the rest of the things like community organization, social group, here also certain things are required, or tools and techniques are available through which you can better practice social action. Okay, so when it comes to social action, first and foremost, the important tool is advocacy. Okay, what is advocacy? Advocacy is representing the voice of the voiceless to the policy makers. Okay. You know very well, in our society, many people could not speak up their mind. They do not have opportunity. or they are not that much empowered to, or if they want to speak also, the authorities or the policy makers or the government officials, they are not ready to listen to these people. Okay, they just do not give importance to this section of the society. Once elections are over, that's it. For the next 5 years, nobody is there to, nobody is here to listen to the voice of these people. In that type of scenario, the social workers, by taking action, they will do this advocacy. So what happens in advocacy? They represent or they take up the voice of the voiceless people to the policy makers, to the government officials, okay, to the political leaders. This is the meaning of advocacy, which is a very very important tool in the practice of social work and especially in social action, right? And second one is awareness campaigns. What are these awareness campaigns? These are educating masses on rights and entitlements that are there. When they are citizens of the country, you know very well, fundamentally, actually all the power belongs to the citizens in the country. But things have changed nowadays that they are just seen as some elements, and the rulers think that it is on their mercy that people are living. Okay, to change that aspect and to educate the masses about their rights, what are the rights that they have, rights guaranteed by the constitution, and the rights that are available as a human beings. Those type of rights we call them as human rights. And apart from that, several legal rights are also there that have been given to the subjects by the parliament, through various legislations and the laws. Okay. After that, they have entitlements. Awareness campaigns are conducted to educate the masses about these aspects. Okay. And very very potent and important tool and technique that is available in social action is public interest litigation in our country. Right? So, you see, it is a legal tool to fight for collective rights in the judicial system. Okay. So, what is the importance of bill? There is no requirement for only the aggravated person. Okay, aggravated person going and petitioning in the court. On behalf of the aggravated person, any other person who is interested or who is concerned about these people, they can go and file a public interest litigation in the courts. Okay. So in our judiciary, this has become the most important tool and most famous tool for addressing socio-economic problems of the people, especially the people who now generally do not have voice, people who are voiceless, and people who are discriminated, and people who are less empowered or disempowered. Okay, in their hands, for them, the PIL has become a very, very, very important tool. Okay. So you have in America, you have a system called as class legislation or class judicial suit, something like that they will call. But in our country, actually, this tool is not available. But another very, very important and potent tool is there, that is public interest litigation. Okay. Then after that, another tool is protests and rallies. When these things are not working, then the social workers generally resort to protests and rallies. What is it? It is a collective demonstration against the injustice that is happening to the people. Right. Then campaigns in media and social media. This is also an important and emerging, especially the social media campaign. Right. What it involves? It involves building narrative and public opinion through communication platforms. Okay. So these are important tools and techniques available for taking up social action. Right. Now we will understand relevance in contemporary social work. Relevance of social action in contemporary social work. Right. Contemporary areas of social action where you can take up social action. Dalit and the tribal rights, still the scheduled caste and scheduled tribal people are the most oppressed people in our country based on their caste. So here you can take up social action. Then gender and sexual minorities. Okay, so gender and sexual minorities like transgenders, okay, etc. Then same-sex people, same-sex people, etc., etc. These people are still facing discrimination in our society. So to address their problems also, and to change the perception of the society, how the society is perceiving these people. So to the effort that also you can take up social action, right? After that, displacement of people due to development or conflict. Here also generally the impacted people are bigger sections of the society. When a development project like constructing a dam is taken up, predominantly it is the tribal people and Adivasi people who are displaced, whose lands are submerged. Okay? Or whenever we are building or we are developing mining, it is the Adivasi people or tribal people who are displaced. Okay? Now after that, you will see because of the conflicts, maybe because of the communal riots, etc., displacement is taking place. Lakhs of people in our country are already displaced. So for protecting their rights, okay, and to make justice, bring justice to them, you can take up or you can practice social action. After that, in areas like right to food, right to health, and education, right to education, in these areas also you can take up social action, right? After that, for environmental justice also, many green movements were already held in our country. For that also you can take a social action. Best examples are recently, few years back, we have seen a movement in Mumbai where Mumbai Metro was trying to remove a patch of forest area within the boundaries of Mumbai and to build shelter. Okay, because the movement or protest by the people, that project has been shelled. Okay, then in Tamil Nadu you have seen anti-steroid protest. A big accident has happened in a Sterlite company, and because of that, huge protests were there. So, after that, the real Bhopal gas tragedy in our country, because of many lives have been lost and environment they completely devastated. Okay, to bring justice in these type of scenarios or circumstances, you have to follow social action. Okay, so these are the areas where social action is very much driven. Right. And after that, we will see how it is interconnected with other methods of social work. Okay, so social action is often draws upon and integrates rest of the things in social work, like community organization in the previous things we have seen, previous classes we have seen. Then in research also it is relevant, policy practice also it is relevant, and the legal intervention also it is relevant. Right. So to conclude the video or to conclude the lecture, social action is not only a method, it is a moral imperative, but it is a moral imperative for a social work profession, for the social work profession. Okay, it embodies or means it includes the values of justice, equity, participation, and human rights, making it indispensable in addressing deep-seated and social and structural issues. This is the importance of social action. After that, apart from that, it empowers not just individuals but entire communities to become agents of their own transformation, ensuring that development is inclusive and democratic. This is the importance of social work, social action, and why it has become an important and most significant component in the social work. Okay, so this is what you have to know about social action. Few areas we have seen. In the next videos, we will see some more things related to social. Okay, this is it for today. See you next time. Until then, we have